Why women stay in relationships that no longer make them happy. Have you ever looked at a woman and thought, why is she still there? Why does she stay with someone who doesn't make her feel loved anymore? Why does she keep fighting for a relationship that seems to be draining her? From the outside, it looks simple. Just leave. But what people don't see is the invisible emotional world happening inside her. Because sometimes, a woman isn't staying because she's happy. She's staying because she's attached to a version of the relationship that she still hopes will come back. And today, we're going to talk about the psychology behind why women stay in relationships that no longer make them happy. Imagine a woman named Maya. Maya has been in a relationship for 6 years. In the beginning, everything felt effortless. He called her every morning. He remembered the little things. He made her feel chosen. She wasn't just his girlfriend. She felt like his person. But slowly, things changed. The conversations became shorter. The affection disappeared. She started feeling lonely, even when he was sitting right next to her. Her friends noticed. They said, "Maya, you're not the same anymore." And deep down, Maya knew it too. But whenever she thought about leaving, something stopped her. She remembered the good times, the first date, the promises, the version of him who made her feel safe. And that's where many people misunderstand. They think people stay because they don't see the problem. But often, they stay because they see the problem clearly, and they are still emotionally connected to the person they fell in love with. One of the biggest psychological reasons women stay is something called the sunk cost effect. This is the idea that when someone has invested a lot of time, energy, love, and sacrifice into something, walking away feels like admitting all of it was wasted. A woman might think, I gave him my best years. I stood by him when nobody else did. I can't just leave after everything we've been through. But the difficult truth is this: time invested in a relationship does not always mean the relationship is still right for your future. Sometimes people hold on to the past because they are trying to justify the pain they already endured. They think, if I leave now, then what was all of this for? But healing is not about proving the past was worth it. Sometimes healing is accepting that something was meaningful, even if it wasn't meant to last forever. Another reason women stay is because they are often not attached only to who someone is. They are attached to who that person could become. She remembers the man he was, the man he promised to be, the man she believes is still inside him. And this creates a painful emotional conflict, because she isn't just grieving the relationship she has. She's grieving the relationship she imagined. A lot of women don't stay because they love being unhappy. They stay because they believe, maybe things will go back to how they were. Maybe he'll realize what he's losing. Maybe this is just a difficult season. Hope is powerful. It can keep someone fighting, but hope without change can also keep someone stuck. Love is not only about someone's potential, it is also about their present actions. Sometimes staying is not about the relationship itself. Sometimes it's about fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of wondering if leaving was a mistake. A woman may ask herself, what if nobody loves me like this again? What if I regret leaving? What if I never find someone else? The human brain naturally prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar uncertainty. Even an unhappy relationship can feel safer than an unknown future, because at least she knows what tomorrow looks like. But a new chapter requires accepting that uncertainty is part of growth. Sometimes a relationship becomes part of someone's identity. She is no longer just thinking, am I happy? She's thinking, who am I without this person? Especially when years have been built together. Shared memories, shared friends, shared dreams. Leaving can feel like losing a part of yourself. Attachment is powerful because relationships don't only connect two people, they connect two versions of who they were. The woman may not only be letting go of a partner, she may be letting go of the future she pictured. And that kind of loss can feel like grief. Here is something important. Love and attachment can feel very similar, but they are not always the same. Love says, I want us to grow together. Attachment says, I'm afraid of who I am without you. Love creates peace. Attachment often creates anxiety. Love allows two people to choose each other. Attachment makes someone feel like they need someone. And sometimes the hardest decision a woman makes is realizing, I can love someone and still accept that this relationship is no longer good for me. Because loving someone does not automatically mean staying is the right choice. The truth is, most women don't stay in unhappy relationships because they are weak. They stay because they remember the good. They stay because they invested deeply. They stay because leaving means accepting a reality they never wanted. They stay because the heart often takes longer to accept what the mind already knows. But every person deserves a relationship where they feel valued, respected, and emotionally safe. A relationship should not only be measured by how it started, but by how it makes you feel today. Because sometimes the hardest goodbye is not to the person. It's to the version of the future you thought you were going to have. Final question. If you knew the person you love would never change, would you still choose to stay with them? Or would you finally choose yourself?